Great now. So let me allow access first of all, right? Switching on. And then we have subtrunk, right? This one. I think so. Really, this one. Yeah. Let me change my hoodie size. I have a 14 right now. 9 is enough. Okay, session and default settings save it. Okay, let's recap the class what we have discussed in the study session, right? So yesterday we have covered the concept of the DTP protocol. If you guys remember that DTP is a dynamic approach to make a trunk. So you have two modes in the DTP. You have a called as a auto, and second is called the desirable mode. Right? So dynamic auto and dynamic desirable. So dynamic auto and dynamic desirable. So normally in the auto, what happened? You can only accept the request. You cannot initiate it. In a desirable, what happened? You can initiate the request. At the same time, you can accept the request as well, right? So this is the DTP is a Cisco proprietary protocol, and by default, this protocol is enabled on the Cisco IOS. So on every interface, right? Doesn't matter how many interface you have. For example, you have 0/0, 0/1, 0/2. On all these three interfaces, right? The DTP protocol is enabled. And by default, right, the interfaces are gonna exchange the DTP packet at every 30 seconds. So at every 30 seconds, you can see the DTP packets are exchanging. Okay, that's an amazing approach to make a trunk, but the problem with the DTP is what? If you have an attacker in your network, they can make a DTP attacks. So to prevent the DTP attack, right? To prevent the DTP attack, what you can do that you need to disable the DTP protocol. How you can disable the DTP protocol? A simple way, either you can, if you have a trunk interface, on a trunk interface, you can put the command switch port no negotiate, right? And on the access port, what you can do that you can simply go and say that switch port mode access. So if you make an access port, normally what happens, you are disabling the DTP protocol. Not a good way to define a DTP on a link, because if you're going to define the DTP, eventually what happens, they're going to consume the link bandwidth. They're going to consume the link bandwidth. So yesterday, if you remember that I have shown you the one calculation, right? So if you're going to send the 15 DTP packets, right, which is comes around 1 point something, 1.3 kbps, right? So in a just a 4 minutes something, random time was there. I'm not pretty sure what was the time. So in a 4 minute, just a 4 minute, what happened? 1.3 kbps bandwidth will be consumed just for the sending the DTP packets. So that's not a good solution, right? So always recommendation is what? Just two reason is to go with the manual configuration, the manual configuration of the trunk. The two reason is what? Save the bandwidth, because if you're going to use the manual configuration, you're not going to exchange the DTP packets, right? Second thing is what? Security reason. If you're going to use that manual configuration, then what happened? You're not going to exchange the DTP packets, and you can save your network as well as from the DTP attacks. That's all yesterday we have done, guys. I hope you understand the DTP in the good way. Also, we have seen the Wireshark capture of the DTP packet, right? Now, let's go to the next protocol I have. So take example, this is the switch 1 we have, okay? And we have a switch 2 as well, right? And we have a switch 3 as well. So switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3, right? Let's provide the connectivity, link connectivity between the switch 1 and switch 2, and switch 2 and switch 3, right? And I'll put the interface number 0/0, 0/0, and 0/1 on this interface, and 0/1 on this interface. I'll make 0/0 as well. Now, normally all these switches we have. Take example, this is your manager, right? Your manager said to you, hey, listen, take example, this is the one guy, this name is Saurabh, right? So Saurabh is an engineer, right? So manager, what manager told to the Saurabh, hey Saurabh, listen to me. You have to deploy the 100 VLANs. You have to deploy the 100 VLANs. So, and the VLANs range is different. The VLAN range, see, there is a one command. You can just put the command VLAN 1 to 100, and you can just create the VLAN 1 to 100, right? So simply in a single command line, what happened? You can get the 100 VLANs. Not a big deal. But what manager informed to the Saurabh, he Saurabh, listen, you have to get the 100 VLANs, but different range. Not a 100 VLANs. Let's take example of the 10 VLANs. Or make a 10, yeah, 10 VLANs is enough. So manager told to the Saurabh, you have to get the 10 VLANs, right? But the range is different. The range is what? 21, 22, 29, 31, 45, 48, 49, 79, 88, right? 3 to 5, and 99. This is the range that manager has informed to the Saurabh. Hey Saurabh, listen, you have to create this range of the VLAN on every devices. So assume that you have 100 plus switches. You have 100 plus switches in your network. Guys, please pay attention. Understand the concept right now. Understand this theory. So manager has informed to the Saurabh, you need to create this range of the VLAN. And how many switches? 100 plus switches. So normally what Saurabh has informed to the manager, hey, listen, we need at least 10 days or maybe the 3 days to define the VLANs. We need 3 days to define the VLAN because 100 plus switches is a very big amount of switches, right? And these are the range of the VLAN. We need to manual configuration of the VLAN, right? So we need to do the manual configuration of the VLAN, and the manual configuration of the VLAN will take some time, right? At the same time, this manual configuration of the VLAN, we need to do the 100 plus switches. It means that we have to do the box to box configuration. Guys, please pay attention to the word box to box configuration. Box to box configuration is what? The meaning of box to box configuration means you need to log into the each and every box. For example, switch 1, telnet SSH, switch 2, telnet SSH, switch 3, telnet SSH, and so on. You have to do the box to box configuration. So Saurabh asked to the manager, hey, I need at least 3 days I need it. What manager I informed that, dude, if you're complete in the 1 day, not 1 day, if you're not complete in the 10 minutes, that's fine. Otherwise, you are fired. Manager has said to the Saurabh, listen to me. If you're going to complete in the 10 minutes, that's fine. Otherwise, you will be fired. Now, the problem is that Saurabh has no idea how to do the configuration. The reason is that what Saurabh has learned. Saurabh said that, hey, whatever the things that I have learned in the networking, right? The how to create the VLAN, I just need to go on the switches, right? Or I just need to log into the switch, maybe via the telnet or SSH. I say that VLAN number 21, VLAN number 22, VLAN number 29, and so on. And same process I have to do over there, same process I have to do over here. So Saurabh said that it's not possible for me. I love to fire myself, right? That's the biggest issue is happened. In normal ways, right? In normal ways, if somebody will tell you, hey, you need to configure the 100 plus switches with this range of the VLAN, you have only one option is what? This thing. Only you have option. So to avoid this problem, right? To avoid this problem, what Cisco has introduced, Cisco said, hey, you don't need to worry about that.
VTY.
I will introduce the new person, and that new person name is what? It's a BTP. Listen to my words. What Cisco said, hey, don't worry about that. I'm going to bring a new person, and that new person guy name is what? It's a BTP. And what BTP allow you? So first of all, understand the terminology. Most of the people has a confusion about the BTP. BTP stands for, if you see, it's called as a VLAN trunking protocol. It's the VLAN trunking protocol. I'm repeating the same word. It's not a trunking protocol. It's not a trunking protocol. First of all, understand the meaning of protocol. Protocol means what? A set of rules. What is the meaning of rules? Rules means something like that. The training will be start at the 9 p.m. sharp IST. If you want to join this training, you have to come on the 9 p.m. Otherwise, I'm not going to allow you. That's a one rule. Second rule is what? This training has to be in the English mode, right? So we cannot use any other language. We have to use the English language. That's the second rule. So rules is something like, it's called a protocol. If you guys have, like, in the graduation, you have learned this thing, right? A protocol is called a set of rules. Rules means something you have defined it, right? So if I'm gonna enable the BTP on the switch 1, you need to enable the BTP on the switch 2. Same thing, if the one person, right, for example, A, and there is a B, if the A knows the English language, B must need to know the English language to communicate it. If somehow the B knows the Chinese, right, then what happened? There will be no communication. So the rule is what? The rule must be English language, then we can communicate it. Same behavior will be happen over here. The BTP must be enabled on all the 100 switches. And what BTP allow you?
Sorry, multiple VLANs.
Sir, can you repeat again?
BTP allow you the centralized management.
Hello?
Simple term. Let me write on over here.
Okay.
BTP allow you centralized management. What do I mean by centralized management? The problem with the startup, right? The problem with the startup say that, hey, it's not possible to configure all this VLAN within a 10 minute, right? Startup asked for the 3 days. BTP allow you, if you want to create the VLANs on a switch 1, right? For example, I create the VLAN 21, 22, 29, 79, 88, 89, 31, 45, 48, 79. If I'm going to create this range of the VLAN on the switch 1, the word centralized management, it's same like your client and server model. So you have a one server, right? And there's a multiple client. Same behavior. You have a multiple clients, right? So what server will do? Server is receiving the information and just server will flood the information to the every client. Same behavior will be happen. That's called as centralized management. That's a meaning of centralized management. Guys, please pay attention my words, centralized management, because these words you will encounter in future training. Not that I'm talking about the CCNP. If you go in the Cisco SD-WAN or the CCI Enterprise and the CCI Service Provider, right? Anyways, you will encounter this kind of word. Centralized management means what? Make this example in your mind. One server receive the information, will replicate the information to the every client. Same behavior, what I can do with the help of BTP, right? That's called as the centralized management. I will just create the VLAN on the switch 1. What they will do that? Because now the switch 1 is behave like a server. All my switch 2 and switch 3 and all the remaining switches in your network will behave like a client. So if I'm going to create the VLAN on the switch 1, it will replicate the information to the switch 2 and it will replicate the information to the switch 3. It means that all the switches, right, will have the same VLAN information. All the switches will have a same VLAN information. I just created the VLAN on the switch 1, right? What switch 1 will do that? Because he's a server and all the remaining devices are my client, he will replicate the information to all the devices. And that's why I call this guy as a centralized management. From a one location, right, I can create the VLAN on every devices. Now the startup has a knowledge. Hey, I know the one guy who can do this work for me. And that guy name is what? BTP. So now the startup is trying to learn the BTP. And now he can inform to the manager, hey manager, I don't need even the 10 minutes. I can just create all the VLAN in a single shot. In just a 1 minute, I will create all the VLAN. Manager, he will inform to this guy, hey, now you will get promoted, right, very soon. And that's how the BTP is gonna work. BTP allow you the centralized management. It's not only the creation, guys, pay attention. It's not only the creation. Take example, if somehow I will say that, hey, I'm gonna delete the VLAN number 21. So I say the no VLAN, right, 21, right? I'm deleting it on the switch 1. So startup just has to log into this particular box via telnet or maybe SSH, right? Or maybe the console, anything, right? That's fine. Saurabh will take access of this particular box and say that, hey, let me delete the VLAN number 21. Once he will delete it, what he will do that? He will first remove this information from the database table. See the behavior of the centralized management. He will remove this information from the database table, and he will also inform to the sys2, hey, listen, remove this guy as well. And he will also inform to this guy, hey, remove this guy as well. And so now everywhere, if you see switch 1, switch 2, switch 3 have a same database table now. Same VLAN database table we have now. After that, if they want to create it, say that, hey, let me log into the box, switch 1, and he will create the VLAN number 21. Once they will create the VLAN number 21, he will add to the switch 1, and he will inform to the switch 2, hey, please add it. See the beauty. After some time, maybe, the Saurav has decided, hey, one thing, I like to change the name of this VLAN number 21 is what? The name will be, maybe a department is a CCNP department, right? Take example, we have a CCNP training, we have a CCNP department. So if I change the name on the switch 1, right, it will replicate the information to the switch 2 as well. It will replicate the information to the switch 3 as well. See the beauty, centralized from one location, right? From one location, I'm managing the entire network. And that's the beauty of the BTP protocol. Benefit, if you look, first of all, we are not going to do the box-to-box configuration. I just need to do the one box. It will replicate the information to the entire network. No need to do the box-to-box configuration. Second part, no need to do the manual configuration. Manual configuration means what? I don't need to log into each and every box and configure the VLAN 10, 20, 30, something like that. No need of manual configuration. I just need a manual configuration on the switch 1, flood the information to the entire network. Do you know one thing? This manual configuration will save the lots of time and error too, man. That's the biggest. One thing, according to the, I was reading one of the books, Cisco Press book, and I found the one interesting concept. I don't need to put in the record. If you are doing one short configuration on the switch 1, I'm not doing the manual configuration now, right? Because if I'm going to do the box-to-box configuration, take example, if I'm going to do the box-to-box configuration or manual configuration, what happened in that case? Maybe I will miss the 20 over here, or maybe I will miss the 29 over here, or maybe I will miss the 88 over here. If I'm going to do the manual configuration, then I will miss somewhere, right? Definitely, because we are doing the manual. Manual means mistake, right? Manual means what? Error, mistake. So take example, if you miss the VLAN, then what happened? Remember yesterday example I gave you that if you don't have a VLAN in your database table, and if your port is associated with that VLAN, then your interface will move in the inactive state. No communication will happen. And what Saurabh is going to inform to the manager, hey, listen, I have configured all the VLAN. I don't know what's happening right now. Then after that, what happened? The Saurabh is going to open the tag cases, right? That's the biggest issue with the manual configuration. So this manual configuration, right? This manual configuration, you can see with the help of what? BTP. If I'm making a mistake on the switch 1, it will be the mistake on the switch 2 and switch 3 as well. If I'm going to correct on the switch 1, it will be correct on the switch 2 and switch 3 as well. And that's how the BTP is work, guys. BTP allow you a centralized management. If I'm going to create a VLAN on a one device, it will replicate the VLAN information to the entire network. But there is a condition. Condition is what? Now look for the condition, guys. Condition is what? If you see the name of this guy, right? It's in the VLAN trunking protocol. First of all, it's not a trunking protocol. Okay, it's not a trunking protocol. The requirement of the BTP is what? The requirement of the BTP is BTP information only share on a trunk interface. That's the meaning of this particular line. See, you understand the meaning of VLAN, right? That's the first word. VLAN, V means VLAN. You understand the meaning of T. T means what? I can only share the BTP information, the VLAN information, only on the trunk interface. Protocol, you understand. Protocol means what? A BTP must be enabled on the entire device to exchange the BTP packets. The BTP information only shared on the trunk interface. It means that, understand this concept. If you have a switch 1, and if you have a switch 2, and we have a trunk interface, try to understand. And this is the PC. This is the another PC we have. So normally 0/2 and 0/2 and 0/1 and 0/1, right? So this is my trunk interface. This is my access port, right? On this particular port, there will be no BTP packet. On this particular port, there will be no BTP packet. Only I can share the BTP information where? On a trunk interface. So I can only gonna exchange the BTP information on which port? On this particular port and this particular port. Why? What's the reason? First of all, because we need a trunk. The reason is that to exchange the BTP packet, to exchange the BTP information, not the packet right now, don't get confused. Packet information, just understand the information. To exchange the BTP information or VLAN information. BTP information is what? It's a VLAN information. Just for the right now understanding point, I'm telling you, but there will be a multiple BTP information. Because right now you understand the VLAN information right now, that's why I'm telling you the VLAN word. But there will be multiple BTP information. Forget it right now, just understand. One of the information of the BTP is called as the VLAN information as well. That's why I'm using the word VLAN. To exchange the BTP information or call it the VLAN information, right? We need a encapsulation protocol. And that encapsulation comes in the picture is what? 80.1q. And that's why, right, we need a trunk. That's the reason. Now, another point of the BTP is what? By default, BTP is enabled. By default, BTP is enabled. I talk about the squares, by default, BTP is enabled. Now, once we have done this part, I told you the two reasons, right? Two criteria is very important. One criteria is a trunk interface. Second criteria is what? The second criteria you must define BTP domain name. If you don't have a domain name, then BTP information will not exchange. It means that two things are very important, guys. One, this part, right? Another, this yellow part. Now, what is domain? Guys, if you guys remember, yesterday I shown you some picture of the DTP, right? In a DTP, there was a called name as a domain name something. Is it recommended to display the BTP when we are not doing the BTP configuration? Is it recommended to disable BTP when we are not doing the BTP configuration? Nasir, what should I say about this part, right? Disable the BTP. You have to use the BTP. There is no other way to share the VLAN information. There's many reasons to enable there is many reasons to use the BTP. And there is no other reason to disable the BTP. Okay, so I haven't seen that anywhere, like somebody has disabled the BTP. And there's no such a specific command to disable the BTP. You need to use some special things that I'll let you know how to disable the BTP. Don't worry about that. But just
Sir,
wait
it is
some
by
time, okay? Sorry?
sir, it is by default enable na BTP mode.
By default, BTP is enabled. So you have two things is very important, guys. One thing is this part. right? To exchange the BTP information, you need to have a trunk interface, right? This is the trunk interface. And second thing is that you must need to have a domain name. Domain is what? Domain is just a logical, right? It's just a logical name. It's just a name. Okay. So for example, understand in this way, domain is called what? First of all, domain. If you see the synonyms, the domain is called area. Area means what? Range, right? Domain is area is called range, right? Same thing, right? What I can do that over here, I will see that switch 1, switch 2, right? I'm trying to use this word right now, switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, right? Just to make an easy way to explain the domain name, switch 4 and switch 5. What I'm using right now, what I'm trying to say, I'm going to make this guy as a part of the one company. So I will create a one area over there. Can you see that? This area, I will create the one area. And to define this area, I will call as a domain name. I will define a name for this area. And that name is called as a CCI. And this CCI is called as a domain name. So this CCI will be available on the switch 1, switch 2, the same domain name, and switch 3. This switch 4 and switch 5 are part of the different company. So they will use the different name because this is a different logical area. I will define the different logical name for this guy. I'll call that CCNP. So this guy, the domain name is what? CCNP. And this guy domain name is what? CCNP. So if I'm going to create the VLAN 10 over here, try to understand. I will replicate to the switch 2 because they are in the same domain, and replicate to the switch 3 because they are in the same domain, but not to the switch port. If I'm going to create the VLAN number 20 over here, I will replicate to the switch port, not to the switch 3. Beyond that domain, I'm not going to share the information. And domain name must be present. By default, the domain name is null. By default, the domain name is.
Hello,
Yes.
sir. I have some confusion. Distribution switch, or can we discuss distribution switch, core switch, and access switch? So
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
which?
Listening, I'm listening. Go ahead. On an access layer switches, you're going to create the
Okay.
BTP over there. So normally the distribution layer switches are also a part of the layer 2 and layer 3. Basically what happened, you have an access layer over here. On the downside, access means what? Where the end users are connected, right? Distribution layer means what? That's going to provide the connectivity between the core and access layer, right? And here we have a
Access.
core. So basically the core is a pure layer 3, right? Access is a pure layer 2. And the distribution could be the layer 2, layer 3 and layer 2 as well, depending on the requirement.
Yes, sir.
So you can do the switching
okay,
part
sir.
over
Sir,
here. Over
which
here.
switch were
Yeah, go ahead.
okay? So which switch were define BTP?
That's one
Access
thing.
switch?
No, that's one thing. Not accessing. See over there, it's a layer 2 as well, right?
Yes.
So you have to also define the BTP over there.
Okay.
When the layer 2 comes in, because BTP is a layer 2 protocol. BTP is a layer 2 protocol,
Yes,
works on a data link layer.
Layer 2 protocol.
So simple concept. If there is a layer 2 protocol, wherever the layer 2 will be there, I need to use the BTP over there. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I'm trying to say that, so this is the range that I have to do. This is the logical area. This logical area has some name. That name is called as a domain name. This logical area has some name. That name is called as a domain name. Between the domain name, right? Between the domain name, I'm not going to exchange the VLAN information. So two things is very important, guys. Whenever, right? The basic part I'm talking, these are the basic troubleshoot. These are the basic troubleshoot, right? About the BTP is what? If you are not getting the BTP information means what? The VLAN information right now, just for now, okay? Because apart from this thing, VLAN information, we have something else as well. So if you're not getting the VLAN information, what basic troubleshoot you can do that? Check if the trunk interface is there or not.
Sir,
Yes.
Sir, who is the create domain name?
I'm coming to the point, Vijay. Just give me 1 minute. So basic
Okay.
troubleshoot is what? Trunk, right? If you're not getting the VLAN information. Second part is what? Domain name. If your domain is not same, information will be not exchanged. So these are the basic troubleshoot that keep in your mind whenever you get in the interview. So in the interviews, you will get a multiple scenario-based question on the VLAN. And they will ask you from anywhere, man. Okay, so these things are very important. Now, apart from this thing, BTP, right, has a 3 modes. Basically, it's a 3 modes. One mode also is there that we'll talk later on, not now. Basically, it's a 3 modes, right? One is called as a server mode, right? Another is called as a client mode
And transparent.
and transparent mode. Her fourth mode, that's we are going to discuss later, that's called the off mode. Simple example, simple terminology. Server means what? He is the guy, that's a server, right? So he's a server, right? And this server is going to flood the information to the every client. The server is going to flood the information to every client and server model. Server is going to flood the information to the every client, right? So in a server, basically what you can do that, you can create the VLAN, right? Delete the VLAN, modify the VLAN, and sync the VLAN. It means the simple language, you can do everything. So if you're switch in the server mode, you can do everything. So for example, this switch is the server mode, right? If this switch is the mode is the server, right? I can create the VLAN number 10. I can delete the VLAN, no VLAN number 10. I can another create the VLAN number 20. I can modify this VLAN. VLAN modify means what? I can define the name for this VLAN is the ID. I can change the state of this guy's what? Suspended. Yesterday we have discussed, remember? I can do anything. Even if somebody is sending the information to me, the VLAN information with the help of BTP packets. In this BTP packets, we have some VLAN information with the 50 and 100. I can do have ability to sync the VLAN. I can accept this one. I can accept this one and have it the VLAN 50 and VLAN 100 as well. That's a meaning of synchronization. I can do every single thing in the server mode. And this server mode is a default mode. This is the default mode. So when you're gonna log into the box and check the BTP modes, it will show the default mode is a server mode. Second mode we have is called the client. In a client mode, basically what you can do that, you cannot create, delete, and modify, but you can sync the VLAN. Understand this concept. So take example. This is the client now, right? This is the client. In a client, what you can do, I don't have ability to create the VLAN. I cannot say the VLAN number 10. If you say the VLAN number 10, they will throw the message, hey, you are in the client mode. If you say the no VLAN number 10, again, they will throw the message, hey, you are in the client mode. If you say the VLAN number 20 and say that, hey, name will be CS, they will throw the error message. You are in the client mode. You cannot do anything. But I do have ability to sync the VLAN. It means that if server is going to create the VLAN number, make example 200, right? If server switches is going to create the VLAN number 200, that's how client and server is working. Switch 3 can share the BTP packets, and in that BTP packet, he will put the VLAN information 200. Switch 2 has the ability to synchronize the VLAN, and he can get the VLAN number 200 in the database table. He can get the VLAN number information in the database table. That's how the BTP client mode is working. Let's do this practical till this point. Okay, then we'll discuss the transparent and off mode. Okay, few things more. Apart from this thing, BTP has 4 types of packet. right? The first packet is known as a summary advertisement, right? By default, this packet exchange at every 5 minutes, right? This contain some VTP information, which is like a revision number. Don't worry about that. I'll explain you everything, guys. Domain name and etc. Second packet is known as a subset packet, subset advertisement, right? This packet contain VLAN information. So normally your apart from the VLAN, also you can see the domain names of other informs of the VTP. So you can have a VLAN number 10, 20, 30, something like that. Third packet is known as a advertisement request. Name suggests that request means what? If somebody doesn't have a complete information, if some switches doesn't have a complete information, then it will send the advertisement request packet. Request means what? When some switches doesn't have complete information about VLAN, then switch can request by sending advertisement request packet. Hey, in this advertisement request packet, what he will tell that, hey, I need a complete VLAN information. I need a complete VLAN info. The fourth one, right? That's called as a BTP pruning. So it's normally stop. Pruning means what? Prune it, right? Stop sending VLAN information. We'll discuss this thing later on. Don't worry about that. Let's do the first configuration, basic part. So if you see, we have a switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. Switch 1. Let me do the no and yes. Switch 2, no and yes. And switch 3, no and yes. Come on, come over here. Okay. And switch 2. I'll show you over here. And switch 1. Okay. Config terminal post name will be, come on, switch 1. Do so VLAN brief. I must not have any VLAN. VLAN 10 is there. Let me delete it, man. Sorry. Okay. And so must not have any VLAN. Yeah, great. Switch 2. Post name will switch 2 now. Do so VLAN brief. Perfect. And switch 3. Sorry. I don't have any VLAN. Nothing I have. Let me check the trunk. Do we have a trunk or not? I don't have a trunk. What should I do? I'm going to do the manual configuration of the trunk without the use of without the use of DTP protocol. So simply what I can do that, interface range is 0/1 to 1, switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, switch port mode trunk, and switch port no negotiate to disable the DTP behavior, right? I don't need a DTP to exchange it. Same thing, if you see the do show interface trunk, what they will do that, they will make a trunk. The reason is that these guys are in the negotiate mode, right? So if you want to disable the DTP from here as well, you can simply say that interface is 0/0, switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, switch port mode trunk, and switch port no negotiate. Same behavior. Switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, switch port mode trunk, and switch port no negotiate. It means that completely I have disabled the DTP from the entire network. Now, the first criteria of the BTP was trunk must be there. I have a trunk. Okay. Second criteria was domain name. But before I'm going to configure the domain name, I'd like to show you something else. If you see there's the VLAN number 10 right now, have a look over there. I create the VLAN number 10 on the switch 1, right? I create the VLAN number 10 on the switch 1. Do so VLAN brief. I have a 10. How about the 2? I don't have it. Got it? I create the 10 on this guy. Saurav has logged into this particular box and create the VLAN number 10. I don't have a 10 on this guy. What Saurav has to do that? Saurav has to do the login to this particular box and create the VLAN number 10 now. See, I'm doing that. How about the 3 now? Don't have it. What Saurav has to do now? Log into this particular box and create the VLAN number 10. Doing. Again, same how he has to get the multiple range of VLAN. Maybe if manager will told the sort of, hey, you need to get the 100 plus VLAN or maybe the 500 plus VLAN. Then Saurabh has to do this task 100 1-to-1. That's called a box-to-box configuration. That is called a box-to-box configuration. So we are not going to do this thing. What I can do that simply now, I'm just going to remove the VLAN number 10 from there. Right? So if I'm going to delete from the switch 3, switch 2 still have it. See? If I'm going to delete from the switch 2, switch 1 still have it. Now, what I'm trying to show you over there, trunk is enabled. Right now you can see that trunk is enabled. And even if you see the BTP status, the by default BTP protocol, which is a data link layer protocol, layer 2 protocol, also enabled. Can you see that? I haven't done anything, man. What I'm trying to show you, my trunking is there, my BTP is there, but still, if I'm creating the VLAN number 10 on this guy, I'm not replicating the information. Even the mode is what? Default mode. Server, if you check on the switch 2, enable switch 3, the default mode is what? Server. But I'm not able to exchange the information. The reason is that what I told you, if you see, is that there's two reasons, right? The first is what? Trunk should be there. Second is what? You must have a domain name. Have you configured the domain name? Not yet. And if you don't get the domain name, he will not exchange the BTP VLAN information. So if you see the domain name is what by default, it's a null. It's a null. You need to create the domain name. And domain name could be anything, man. It's up to you. But domain name is a case sensitive. The case sensitive means what? If I'm going to create the domain name A, take example. Okay. And if I'm going to create A over here, this two will be the different logical domain. This two will be in the different logical area. So domain name must be same on the entire device. Okay. So what is the first thing we have to do that? We need to go on the switch 1 and say that BTP domain name is what? The first command, I say the CCIE. Once I put this command, if you see, my behavior is changed to the null to the CCI. Do so BTP status. Do so BTP status. How about the switch 2 now? I change the domain name on this guy as a CCI from null to CCI. How about the switch 2 now? I got it. How? The reason is that your neighboring device, if you configure on the switch, configure word, catch the word, configure. If I'm going to configure on the switch 1, and if the switch 2 has a null, right? If the switch 2 has a null, so what happened in that case? By default, the BTP protocol is enabled. If I'm going to configure the switch 1 as a CCI, he will send the BTP information. BTP packet, he will exchange it. Summary advertisement that contain your what? Domain name. If the switch to, what was the switch to default behavior? Null, right? If the switch to domain name is a null, it means nothing. Switch to has the ability to negotiate the domain name. Switch to have the ability to negotiate the domain name. Take example. If the switch to doesn't have a null, and if the switch to has a CCNP, and he will send the BTP packet, they will ignore it. If there is null, then he will negotiate it. If other name is there, then they will neglect it. So right now the default is what? It's a null, and that's why what happened, this null will be converted into the CCI. How about the switch 3 now? Done, because now the switch 2 will flood the information, right? Switch 3. I'm done. I just configure the one device right now. But still mode is what? Server. In a server mode, normally what happens, I'll try to explain you this part. Understand this concept. So I hope the domain name concept is clear. I just configure the one device. It will flow to the on an entire network. Make sure that you need to give some time to exchange the packet. You need to give, say, it's not like that I just configure the domain name over here, and in a frequent second, you will get the domain name over here, and in a frequent second, you will get the domain name over here. It's not, just give some time, okay? Now, what's a server? The default was server. Server means what? You can create anything. Now, if I'm going to create the VLAN number 10, have a look over there. I just create the VLAN number 10. The Saurabh has took the access of the switch 1, has created the VLAN number 10 now. Flood this information to the entire network. See on the switch 2. Now the Saurabh has not take the access of the entire the devices and make the create the VLAN over there. They will just create the VLAN on the switch 1. The entire network will have a 10. So just now the Saurabh has created on the switch 1. Maybe some other engineer. The example, there's a girl, right? Ms. Nidhi, right? What he can do that, what she can do that. See the fresher in the networking field, right? BTP attack. What she can do that. Okay, let me delete it. No VLAN 10. Gone. Gone. Everything is gone now. If you check on the switch 1 now, the Saurabh has created the VLAN on the switch 1. Nidhi sees the fresher, she deleted. Gone. That's a problem. Don't keep all the devices as a server mode. If you keep all the devices as a server mode, and if some fresher engineer has access of that particular box, you will lose all the information. Better to what? Make a client and server behavior. So what I can do that, I'll change the mode will be what? I just make the BTP mode, mode will be what? Server. That's a default mode. And I'll make this guy the BTP mode client. This guy. This information will be not flooded. You need to make a client. Now, have a look. Now, if you're going to create the VLAN number 10 over here, right? Again, do so VLAN brief now. I have a 10 now. You also have a 10, right? You will also have a 10. And the switch 3 also have a 10 now. Now, if the Nidhi will try to access this box, particular box, they have a login access, right? And if she's trying to delete the VLAN, no VLAN 10, they will throw the error message. Dude, you are in the client mode. You are not allowed to modify anything over here. Even if I'm doing a switch to, this is also in client mode. If you see, it's also in the client mode, right? I cannot delete it. I said, no, I cannot say the no VLAN 10. If I'm going to change the name, if you see over there, I said the VLAN number 10 as a name is what? CS. Now what happened? Do so VLAN brief. I can do anything, man. But I cannot do anything on the client side because all these are my what? All these are my client, and this is my server. I cannot do anything on the client side, but I can do anything on the server. If I'm going to change the state, maybe LAN10 name a state will be what? Take example as the suspended. God, how was this guy? Suspended. If I'm going to create the multiple VLAN, take example as the VLAN number 10 to 20, that's a range, the VLAN I'm going to create it. Do show VLAN brief. If you see this range of the VLAN I just created, right? Right. Everyone will have now all the range of the VLAN. That's how your BTP works. That's how your BTP works. Now the question is that how does the switch 2 and switch 3 is getting the information from switch 1? On which basis I'm believing that the switch 1 has a property. Take example. Let me give you an example of this thing. Take example, we have a switch 1 and switch 2, right? And switch 3 as well. Switch 1 is also server and switch 3 also server. I can have it like, just for the redundancy purpose. I can have it, the two server, right? If the one server goes down, I do have a backup one, right? So take example, the server switch 1 said, hey, now VLAN number 10. And the switch 3 also said the VLAN number 10. Sorry, no, but my bad. VLAN number 10. So switch 1 is also advertising the 10 information. Switch 3 is also advertising the 10 information. Which information the switch 2 will accept now? Confusion, right? I can have it, the multiple server, right? He's a client mode right now. I can have a multiple server. Which one the switch 2 will pick up? Anyone has an idea?
Can you repeat again?
Huh?
Can you repeat again the question, sir?
When the switch 1 is going to send the VLAN 10 information to switch 2, and switch 3 is going to send the VLAN 10 information to switch 2, which VLAN 10 switch 2 will accept it?
Switch 1.
Why? Good one. Why?
Lower, I forget the
Lower IP address, lower switch name.
no, something to do with priority.
Because sir, first we configure switch 1.
So
I have no idea.
So in this situation, right, normally what happened, we have a new person over here, and that person name is called as a CR, configuration revision number. Configuration number is a 32-bit number. Can you imagine that? 32-bit, how it is big? It's very big, very, very big. Always start from 1. When you not add, just simple word, modify. Just simple word, modify. Modify means what? Adding, removing, deleting, changing the name, anything. When you modify the VLAN, it add the division number. Sorry, it add the CR number. Just make a configuration division number by 1. Understood? Have a look. Take example. If the CR number is 1, if I'm looking at the VLAN number 10, then what happened? 1 plus 1, 2. If I get the VLAN number 20, then what? 2 is previously there. 2 plus 1, 3. If I say the no VLAN 10, 3 was already there. 3 plus 1, 4. If I say the VLAN number 20, the name is what? 20 is already there. I just saw name is CS. Then what happened? 4 is already there. 4 plus 1, 5. Anything. If you're modifying it, they change the division number. Higher division number. Higher CR is more preferred. So normally when you say the VLAN information, right, you will say the CR number as well. If this guy's CR number is 1 and if this guy's CR number is 2, client will always make a preference to the 2-1. He will accept the VLAN 10 from the switch 3 because higher CR number has a more up-to-date information. Higher CR number has a more up-to-date information. So those switches have a more up-to-date information. Those switches have a higher CR number, right? Will flood the information in the entire network. When the switch 2 will receive it, right? When the switch 3 is going to share this information to the switch 2, right? What was the CR number of this guy? Maybe the CR number of this guy is a 1. He said, hey, mine is 1. Listen to me, guys, please pay attention. Switch 2 said, hey, mine CR number is 1, right? That I'm receiving from the switch 3 is 2. It means that this guy has a more up-to-date information. I will change my database according to the switch 3. I will change my database according to the switch 3. If take example, right? If this guy has a CR number, switch 2 has a CR number is 10. And if this guy is a 10 sending the revision number 2, then switch 2, hey, I have a more up-to-date information. I think you have to take from me. I cannot take the information from you because you have a CR is 2, mine is a CR is 10. Higher is always preferred. In that case, switch 2 is not gonna entertain this packet. That's how the CR concept comes in the picture. So if you see right now, right, I multiple times I deleted the VLAN, right, and added the VLAN. So you will have a higher CR number right now. You can see that. Don't show BTP status. Right now it's 11 because multiple times I change the VLAN number, right? VLAN 10, 30, change the name and change the status by 11 right now. But if I'm going to add any other VLAN, take example right now. I said the VLAN number 100. What happened? 11 plus 1. Now it will be 12 now. Same 12 will be on the switch 2. And same 12 will be what? Switch 3. So I just get the VLAN number 100 on which device? I just get the VLAN number 100 on the switch 1. What was the CR number was previously? 11 plus 1 is 12 now. Same information will send to this guy. Hey, 12 is the revision number, 100 is the VLAN. He will update it. Okay. He will send this guy 100. Okay. 12. Same way, if I'm going to change this guy, the VLAN number 100 is what? So the name is Spider-Man. Now what? Do so BTP status. 13. Right? I change the name of this guy, Spider-Man. Twelve was previously there. Now what I can do that? As the 12 plus 1 is called 13 now. Have a look. What CR they have? 12. What CR they have? 12. What is the VLAN? 100, 100. They don't have any name, right? Now he will update the new information. Hey, listen, I have a new update for you. And the update is what? CR is 13 right now. And the VLAN 100 is still there. Only the name is changed now, Spider-Man. when the switch 2 will receive this information, switch 2, hey, your CR is 13, my CR is 12. It means mine is a lower one, you have a higher one. It means that you have a more updated information. I need to change my CR with you now. 13 and the 100 will be Spider-Man. Same, this switch 2 will inform to the switch 3. Hey, CR is 13, 100, Spider-Man. What the switch 3 will do that, hey, mine is 12, you have a 13, let me change my CR number is 13 now. Okay, and I'll just change the VLAN number is Spider-Man. Even if I want to change the state, man, if you see, if I'm going to change the state as the VLAN number 100, the state will be suspended. Do so, VTP status. It's 14 now. Anything you're modifying it, the CR will be changed, and based on the CR, the information will be flooded. More CR is a more updated information. Understood? This concept is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
One doubt, sir.
Cool.
A doubt is, sir, when you increment the CR value, sir, in switch 1, sir, it automatically convert the switch to switch 3, manually we can configure.
Good question. Here, did I manually configure the CR number over here?
No, my question is, sir, when you configure in switch 1, CR is suppose, sir, 14, sir, then it automatically convert rest switch.
Yeah, it's automatically converting it. Can you see that? I haven't
Okay,
changed the
okay.
switch to switch 3.
Okay, clear, sir. Means, sir, first we create manually in one switch. When VTP is configured,
I'm
then
not
CR
creating
will
the CR. Oh, 1 minute. I'm not creating the CR number. I'm just creating the VLAN. I'm just adding the VLAN on the server side, maybe the 500. What I told you, the words. If you're gonna add the if you're gonna modify the VLAN, the CR will be
Okay.
added by 1.
Okay, it automatically,
the-
sir, happens, sir.
Sorry?
It automatically
Automatically
converts, sir.
happen.
If
Automatically.
okay, clear.
So if I say the
Clear,
VLAN of
clear, sir.
500, if you see the previously was the
Okay.
40, if I say the VLAN of 500, I just added the VLAN, right? What happened now? It will be added by 1, 14 plus 1, 15. And this 15 will be flooded to the entire network. This guy has
Okay, automatically, sir.
automatically.
Okay, clear, sir. This is my question, sir. Clear, sir.
Now, second thing is that, what do you think that? Is it good thing or bad thing? CR. What do you think? That CR is a good thing or bad thing?
So bad.
Bad? How?
If any switches which is connected with the higher CR, it will be reflect. I mean, what are the VLANs there? It will be reflect to all the.
Exactly. BTP attacks. Yesterday we have seen the DTP attacks. Now you see the BTP attacks. Take example, if your attacker, he wants to destroy your complete network, he can destroy easily. How? I'll try to understand. I'll just try to do one thing. I'll just make a switch 3 as a what? Attacker. Okay. So I'll just gonna disconnect this guy interface. Interface 0/0. I'm gonna shut down this guy. Let's take example. I'll say the BTP mode will be because server now. Okay. Have a look. So right now, the switch 3 doesn't have any connectivity with the switch 2 and switch 1. Let me tell you one thing. If you have a look, the switch 1, do so VLAN brief. This guy has this range of the VLAN. Switch 1 and switch 2 has this range of the VLAN. And if you have a look the division number also, this guy has a 15 division number. And this guy's and this range of the VLAN switch 1 and switch 2 has. And they have in this range of the VLAN, you have almost 10,000 plus user and multiple servers. What he can do that on the attacker side right now, because he's the attacker. What he can do that? Understand this concept. Please give me 1 minute. Now, what he can do that? Right now, the CR of this guy, Swiss 3, if you see, do so BTP status. It's 15, right? Let's do one thing. Do so VLAN brief. No VLAN 10 to 20. No VLAN 100. No VLAN 500. Do so BTP status. What is CR number? 18. Do so VLAN brief. What is the VLAN information we have? Nothing. See the BTP attack. What VLAN information they have? Nothing. Right now, this interface is down. So this is the attacker. Now attacker is trying to connect with your network. How? They will just put the one cable to your switches and now see the behavior. I'll just up this interface now. No shutdown. And have a look at the beauty part. See, on the switch one, we had this amount of information. What switch 3 will do now? Because this link is up, trunk is there, right? Same BTP name is there also. Because they are all part of the same BTP domain right now. What's the BTP domain? CCI. What switch 3 can do that? Switch 3 will inform to the switch 2, hey, listen, I have a CR number is 80. What information you have? VLAN 1, which is by default. Okay, switch 2 will say that you have a higher division number. Let me change my CR and let me update my database table. All the VLAN will be removed now. And they will get the just one VLAN. Same thing. 18. They will remove the 80, 15 from here. And they will just make the 18. And what VLAN will we have? 1. So now if you have a look this part, do so VLAN brief. All gone. If you see the revision number, 80 now. All gone. That's called the BTP attack. Now, this can be happen by you as well. You know, I read somewhere a long time back, 3 to 4 years back, somewhere there was a documents. It was written like that: if you don't have a knowledge of the BTP, if you don't have a good knowledge of the BTP, don't configure it. If you don't have a good knowledge of the BTP, don't configure. Can you imagine that what's happened? Take an example. Forget the attacker right now. Guys, please pay attention. Forget the attacker right now. If you just, this is a manager, because this interface was down. Take example. This was the manager. The manager has informed to this girl. This girl name is, take example, Shruti, right? Hey, Shruti, listen. You need to bring the new device from the warehouse. Listen, guys. You need to bring the new device from the warehouse. Okay. Because I have some guest right now. I need to provide the connectivity to this guest, right? I have some guest. I need to provide the connectivity to this guest. So you need to bring the new one of the switches from the like a warehouse and connect this guy in the network. Shruti took the box, connect the network, and she forgot to check the revision number. In that case, what happened? See, this switches has a 18 revision number. Sys3 has informed to everybody, hey, mine is an 80 number and no VLAN information. All this 10,000 user that was connected to this range of the VLAN, right, has gone. All the 10,000 users and the server too has gone. The complete network will be down if you just misconfigure the VLAN, VDP. The entire network, can you imagine that? The company took the almost 3 to 4 years to configure the entire network in a single shot.
It's very dangerous protocol, sir.
BTP is a dangerous, man. What is the recommendation now? I gave you the two examples. One is the attacker, one is the employee perspective, right? Attacker perspective, you can do that. You can enable the password. You can enable the password. You can say that, hey, let me add the BTP password. You can enable the BTP password, right? That's for the attacker perspective. Employee perspective, because employee know the password, right? Your engineers know the password. Employee perspective, what you can do that, right? Set the revision number. Set the revision number 0. How you can do that? BTP, change the two things. Either you can do that. So two ways to change the revision number, or you can make a reset it. I can say that in a simple way. Simply either change the domain name, change the domain name. By changing the domain name, your revision number will be reset. It comes in the default behavior. How? Let me show you that. Right now, what is the revision number? 18. As the BTP domain name is what? CCNA. First, let me show you that. Understand this concept, guys. It's very important one. This was part of the what? CCI. And the Shruti wants to add these switches into the CCI domain name. But the problem is this guy it has an 18 division number. And this guy has a division number is what? 10. So she cannot add directly, right? So what she can do that? She change the division number CCI to the CCI first. Now if you see the VTP status is 0, right? The default one. The default one is 0. I told you that start with the 1, right? Because if you create the VLAN, it comes to the 1. If you create the VLAN, it comes to the 1, but 0 is the starting range. So it's something like that. Range is a 0 to 32 bit. You can say that. The one I told you that in just 20 minutes back. The reason that because if you create the VLAN, it will comes to the 1 behavior. Normally, when you see the VTP status, when you create the VLAN number 1, VLAN 10 and 20, anything VLAN if you create it, it comes to the 1 default behavior. But starting with the 0. Now it's a 0 now. What I can do that? I cannot add this because now it's a segregated. It's a CCNA now. I cannot add it. What should I do now? Back to the chain. The domain name is what? CCNA. Then still my VTP status is what? 18. How? Because now I got the information from this guy. Sys2, because Sys2 has a 18. Now the thing will be changed from here to here. Because this link was up, right? I got the information from there. So this should be done before the connecting to the, yes, exactly. Second way, what you have? One is the changing the domain name. Second way is what? BTP mode transparent. If you make a mode transparent, it comes to the 0. But Transparent has its own logic. Transparent is a very secure BTP mode. In a transparent, right, what happened? And let me tell you that. In a transparent, you can create everything. You can create VLAN, delete VLAN, modify VLAN, right? Modify VLAN, but locally only. It means that locally means what? If I'm gonna make this guy the transparent, right, mode, if I'm gonna create the VLAN number 10 over here, 20 over here, 30 over here, I will never share this information to the any guy. That's the meaning of locally. I can do everything but locally. How about the synchronization? Event, I cannot synchronize the VLAN. If somebody, right, if somebody is gonna inform me because he's a server, right? If his server is gonna send the VLAN 100 to me, right? Take example. If server is gonna send the VLAN 100 to me, I cannot add the 100. I'll just pass the 100 to the client. So 100 will be not there on the switch 2, but it will be there on the switch 1 and switch 3. 100 will be not there on the switch 2 because what switch 2 will do? Switch 2 is behavior is a transparent. Transparent means what? I cannot sync it, but I will pass it. Or we can say I will relay it. That's how your transparent is working. So transparent is amazing one. Let me tell you how it's amazing. Take example, right? Let me reiterate this one. Guys, please pay attention. This is a very important one. The transparent one. Always confusing for every engineer. Okay, now. So this is also server. Okay. This is also server. Okay. Now understand this concept. We have a VLAN number 100 on this guy. We have a VLAN number 200 on this guy. VLAN 100 on this guy, and VLAN number 200 on this guy. And VLAN 100 and 200, because this is the transparent, I have locally created, right? 100 and 200. It means that this engineer just has log into this particular box, right? And create the VLAN number 100 and 200. It will replicate the information to the switch 3, and switch 3 will have it, but not the switch 2. Then what happened on the switch 2 to create the VLAN 100 and 200? Then what happened? He has to log into this box and create the VLAN number 100 to 200. Now, in 100, you have a, guys, pay attention. In 100, you have a DHCP server. What you have? You have a DHCP server. You have a 1000 plus client on the server side. You have a 10,000 client from the server side, and they are getting the IP addresses from the DHCP. They are getting the IP address from the DHCP. Understand this concept. How the transparent mode is secured. Try to understand this behavior. If somehow, if this guy is gonna delete this VLAN, if somehow this guy is gonna delete this VLAN 100, then what happened? It's only gonna delete from here, switch 3. Will it gonna impact on this guy? Switch 2. No. Your server is safe. Your server is safe. Yeah, only the problem will happen on this guy, switch 1. Whatever the user, that will be the part of the 100. And whatever the user, that will be the part of 100 go in the inactive state. But still my DHCP server is working amazing. The DHCP server can allocate the IP address to the different guys now still. But take example, it was if this guy is in the client, then what happened? If I delete the VLAN number 100 from this guy, you will also lose the DHCP server connectivity. Because if you don't have a VLAN number 100, then what happened? the DHCP server, right? This DHCP server will be what? Inactive state, right? So that's why it is a recommendation, right? All the servers put in the transparent mode on a transparent switches. That's a recommendation to do that. Same way that I gave you example over here, right? One way to reset the division number is what? By changing a domain name. Second way is what? If you make a transparent, the domain name will be changed. Now, when you add a new switch, listen to me carefully. When you add a new switch, right? When you add a new switch into the domain, for example, these are the existing domain. These are the existing domain. And you need to add these switches in this domain. You know what you can do that? Because this interface is not up right now. Simply change the domain name, simply change the mode is a transparent, and then up this interface. And now, make go and change the domain name for this guy. And then you can add it simply. And now maybe you have a question, hey Law, but still I cannot get the what? The VLAN information because the transparent mode cannot sync the VLAN information. Not a big deal. Change the domain, change that mode over there. If I change the mode, I will get the information. See, 18 is now. So 18 was previously there, this guy. Now I got the information 18. Simply, right? So 2 ways you can make a BTP. Reset the division number. One way you have a change the domain name. Second way, what you have to change the mode to the transparent. And that's a very important interview questions, guys. In an interview, this question are heavily asking, right? How to reset the division number? How to reset the division number? So there's 2 ways to reset the division number. One way is what? You can change the mode to the transparent. Second way, what you can have, you can change the domain name. That's 2 ways you can reset the division number. Now, the fourth mode you have, off mode. Okay, sometimes some people is saying that transparent mode is a way to disable the BTP. It's not disabling the BTP, it's a way to disable the BTP, but it's not pure disable the BTP because you are doing everything locally, right? Box to box, right? Take example, if I'm going to make the switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3 as a transparent, then what happened? You have to do the box to box configuration, right? You have to do the box to box configuration because everything is locally, right? But it's not pure disabling the BTP because still I can pass the information. So take example, if there is a server over here and if there is a client over here, and if I'm going to create the VLAN number 100 on this guy, I will pass to the transparent will pass this guy, and he will have it. Switch 1, switch 2, switch 3 will not have it because of they cannot synchronize it because of the behavior of the transparent, but client can have it. So it's not pure disabling the BTP. Yeah, it's kind of disabling the BTP. But if you want to pure disable the BTP, if you don't want to exchange for example, let's take, I'll give you example. This is the customer, right? And this is the customer network we have. Try to understand this behavior. And so another customer we have. So all we have are in a customer network. And this customer, right, has a connectivity with what? Service provider. Let me tell you, you do have a capability to take a layer 3 connection and layer 2 connection from the service provider. You do have ability. So now, this is the server, this is the client, this is the server, because I have a 2 server in my company network just for the redundancy purpose. If one server goes down, I still have a backup one. What I can do that? I simply disable the off mode. So off mode you can disable on the particular interface as well, on a global switch as well. So I can disable the off mode on this particular interface. BTP mode will be off, right? So in that case, what happened? I cannot transmit the, or not even this guy. If this guy is not going to do that, then what service provider can do that? Service provider can apply the off mode over here. So it means what? They cannot get the VLAN information from the customer side. So your network will be totally safe from service provider and from the customer end. So off mode is what? Pure disabling the BTP, because by default you cannot, by default BTP is enabled, right? By default BTP is, there's no command to disable the, you cannot say the no BTP. If you see, I said the no BTP, is it possible? It's not doing that. No command to disable the BTP. What you have to do that, you need to use the mode will be on. So let me show you how do you configure the BTP mode. Let me show you the BTP transparent first of all, the behavior of the transparent. If you see on the switch 3 is a transparent right now. Let me do one thing. Let's create the switch 2 as a transparent. Okay, so BTP mode will be client now. And switch 2 is a transparent. Right? And switch 1 is already a what? Server mode, right? So if I'm going to create the VLAN over here, take example 100, have a look, do so VLAN brief, right? Do so BTP status, right? 100 has created. This is the server, this is the transparent, this is the client. He will send the information to server client transparent. What transparent will do that? Man, I'm in the transparent mode. First of all, my revision number will be what? 0. And I'm not going to accept the information. I'm not going to accept the information. How about the switch 3 now? Because I do have ability, I can relay this information to the switch 3. Switch 3 will have it. Okay. But if I'm not do that on a thing on switch 2, right? Take example, I'm going to create the switch 2 as a VLAN as a 200. Take example. Do so VLAN brief. I can see that I have a 200 VLAN on the switch 2, right? As a locally, because I'm going to create all these things as a locally, right? I cannot save this information to the switch 3, not even the switch 1 as well. So if you see on the switch 3, do so VLAN brief, this VLAN 200 information will be not there. Even if you check on the switch 1, I don't have this information. And that's the beauty part. Then I'll call you back. I'll call you back. This is the beauty part of the transparent mode. If I'm going to make another VLAN 500, take example, even this information I'm not going to say to anybody. I'm going to make a VLAN 500, state will be suspended. It's not going to impact to anybody. So have a look over there. That's another beauty part. If you see the, after the VLAN number 500, state is what? Suspended. Same VLAN I'm going to create on the switch 1, VLAN 500, state is what? Active. Can you see that? Same thing on the switch 3 now. Active, but how about the switch 2? Suspended. Have a look at the beauty part now. That's an amazing feature of the transparent. You are still in the BTP domain. Listen to me. You are still in the BTP domain, but I have segregated you. Transparent means what? It's a part, like, sorry. You can see that. But actually, right? Sorry. Transparent means what? You cannot see that, but actually he's present. That's the meaning of transparent. You cannot see that, right? But actually he's present. I can do anything on the switch 2 for the VLAN number 500. It's not going to impact to this 500. I have a 500 on switch 1 and switch 3. It's not impacting this guy, but I can change anything over here. That's a part of the transparent VLAN, guys. Questions? I think so. I cannot complete today, man.
Yes, sir, that's enough because otherwise it will be too much.
Yeah, that I think so. That will be enough. I think so for me as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think usually 1.5 hour lecture is okay. Yeah, because we
Okay.
have 4 lectures in a week.
No,
mean,
no, it's a
again-
5 lecture in a week, guys. It's a 5. Tomorrow we have a class.
Okay, I see. I did not know that. Okay. Okay.
Questions,
That's fine.
guys, about the BTP. So I'm repeating. I'm not done with the BTP. We have almost tomorrow session with the BTP as well. So I don't think so. We'll be completing the VLAN before the Monday and Tuesday, right? So I need some more time. Who is the control to configure the switch? Control to configure the switch, BTP server mode have.
Okay, so I mean, how do you simply define the revision number?
What do you mean the define the revision number? What my definition of the revision number?
I mean, yes, a simple terminology. I
Simple
mean, what is
terminology. Though have a higher revision number, I will get the information from there. So yeah, a higher revision number has a more up-to-date information.
Okay, so if you say if somebody asks me what is the revision number in VTP, so I mean, how can I just simply
So in that way, you can simply the CR number is the important role of the BTP that helps you to identify which one has a more updated information. How we can prevent the intruder to type command? I didn't understand you. How we can prevent an intruder to type command? You have a login access, Karas. So normally what happened? It's not like that simply anyone can log into this box. You have a login and ID and password.
okay?
So if you have a login ID and password, then you can log into that box. Otherwise, you cannot it.
That's right, yeah.
You understood
So-
the CR number definition? CR number is one of the feature of the like a BTP protocol. Okay, that helps you to identify which one has a more updated information. And it's
More updated means if there's a higher revision number, that means it's a
more
more
updated information, right?
okay. But by default, what is the revision number for
By default,
on
the
each?
division number is 0. It start with the 0 and end with the 32-bit. It's a very big number, man. And
I
only
see.
it increasing by 1 plus 1. So if you modify something in your database, it plus 1 will be there. So if you're changing the name,
Okay.
change the state, add the VLAN. Okay, one more quick answer for the VLAN revision number as well. So take example.
Sure.
What happened if I'm gonna say the VLAN 10 to the 100? How many VLANs I'm creating? 90. How many division number will be increased? What do you think? How number division number will be increased? So right now, if you see CR number is what? It's 19.
9.
Sorry,
It's 9 increase. 9 numbers increase.
only 9. How the 9 comes in the picture? We are creating the 90
Only-
VLANs. And right now is a 90 CR number. This guy has a 0 because this is the transparent right now. This is the server, this is the client. 90 VLAN I'm creating right now in a single command. If I'm creating the 90 VLAN in the single command, it means that only single way, not single way, only one time your VLAN database will be modified. Again, I'm repeating, modify. Only one time will be VLAN database will be modified. So it will add only one CR number. And how many VLANs we have now? 97 is existing. Do so VLAN brief.
So if there is a one update come up in the switch, so that means that will change the one revision number, right?
So previously it was 20, I think so. It is saying that 21, I know. Previously it was 20. So 20 plus 1 is 21.
Okay, got it.
I'm done, man.
Okay,
Questions?
then.
So I'll save this file for you guys. And this is the BTP. I'm not done. BTP, we can use patches.
In client mode, we cannot change or delete anything.
You cannot do anything in the client. You can
So
synchronize the
if I
VLAN.
want to particular port shut down, we can do or not that also.
Nothing you can do that. You have to do from the server mode. Either you have to change the client to the server, then you can do that. You can like shut down the interface, you can do that. But VLAN you cannot shut down. You can shut down the interface. You just, for example, if you see the switch 3, this is the switch mode. Do so BTP status. This is the client mode, right? I cannot say the no VLAN 100. I cannot do that. But I do have ability. I can shut down this interface. Understood?
Yes. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions, guys?
We can do anything
sir.
in the client mode except VLAN, right?
Except the VLAN. Yeah, that's perfect answer. Except the VLAN. You can do anything, man.
Yes.
You can change the IP addressing, routing protocol, anything you can do that. Except the VLAN part.
Oh, thank you.
We have class tomorrow, right?
Yes,
sorry.
sir. We have class also.
Okay.
Bidu, Binod, Abdulas, Anil, Anis, Arjuna, Buja, Dennis, Firoz, Harbito, Koman, Nasir, Nizar, Nisar, Rene, Saurabh, Sakil, Suras, Umyasan, Karan, Bidu again. Do you have any questions, guys?
Not at the
No,
moment, sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great one. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I will take tomorrow more class. So almost the BTP will take the 3 hours. So I'm going to show you something else as well, like the Wireshark capture for this packet. We need to explain this packet as well. So wait for the 2 hours more classes tomorrow, and then we'll done with the BTP. Not done with the VLAN, we'll done with the BTP. Some topics which is not in the syllabus, but I have to discuss regarding the interview perspective, right? So Monday class, I think so Monday and Tuesday we'll take a class for the VLAN, okay, which is very important topic according to the interview perspective. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll catch
Yes.
you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you.
sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Good night. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Good night.